I messed up recently. You see, I decided to rant on Twitter. That, believe it or not, isn't the part I messed up at. It's what I decided to post. You see, I've been daily driving Linux, specifically CachyOS, on my main gaming system, and I ended up having a bug that completely nuked my desktop environment. Now, I go into more detail later in the video on what I think caused this, but in my infinite wisdom, I just decided to post on Twitter saying this happened, and oh boy, did the neckbeards come out and lose their flippin' mind. I have never had a post get so much engagement from people calling me an idiot, a moron, saying I should have picked something else, and I thought what better way than to just read some of the comments on stream. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you like and subscribe. Okay, bye. TLDR, I went to go to the washroom, whatever, after stream yesterday. I came back, my computer had gone to sleep. I tried to wake my computer, my main display didn't turn on, but my second display did, and I noticed on my second display that it was frozen. I tried to get to the terminal, I tried to get to other desktops, I tried to see if there was any signs of life, there wasn't. So what I did was I hard reset my computer by holding the power button, I turned it back on, and all of a sudden my entire desktop environment was destroyed. I didn't have any access to Plasma. It was super weird. Some of my apps would open, like Discord, and I could even open a terminal to open Steam and whatever, and I could even play a game, but none of my desktop environment was there. I spent 2 to 3 hours troubleshooting it, Googling what this could have been, trying to reinstall different desktop environments, reinstalling the same one. I tried creating new users and signing into that user to see if it was a user profile based thing. I tried rolling back with the snapshots feature. I tried so much bullshit. Yes, I did ask an LLM. I asked an LLM, I also asked forums, I did a whole bunch of shit. Couldn't get it to work, so at the end of the day, I got stuck on this screen as the final screen in my distribution, and I just decided to rant tweet on Twitter, and I said, hey, KDE Plasma nuked itself, and now I have no gaming computer. I'll be reinstalling everything now, because I'm not smart enough to fix this, but I still won't go back to Windows. It's safe to say, chat, that the Linux side of Twitter did not like this, because as you can see, there are 360 comments, a good chunk of which are calling me a moron. So I thought, let's read some of these comments and see what people think. Other DEs didn't work either. Correct, other DEs did not work. I tried to install GNOME, and that did not work. You know what? It could have been a skill issue. You know what's more of a skill issue? The soy boys on Twitter. All right, here we go. We're gonna scroll carefully, because scrolling on Twitter is scary sometimes. Top comment is just from my friend Nero, and he just said, how? Well, I just told you. KDE Plasma didn't nuke itself. A system update is causing your display manager to not start. Take this picture and ask ChatGPT or Grok or something what to do. Make sure you tell it what Linux distribution you run KDE Plasma on. These replies are genuinely unhelpful. You're correct. I did do that. I did take a bunch of screenshots and ask ChatGPT and a bunch of different AIs, asked Gemini as well. Didn't get any response. I appreciate that this one was kind of an actual helpful comment. I appreciate you. Thank you very much, sir. I did not ask Grok because Elon can stick his fucking Grok up his own ass. I don't want to use his fucking services more than I already do. I exclusively don't use a DE for my Linux boxes, even if I ever had to. I know enough to not use KDE bloatware. So you don't use a desktop environment at all? Am I reading this correctly? This guy's solution is just to not have a desktop environment? Impeccable. The solution is terminal only. KDE Plasma is always a bad time in my experience. Never had issues with games on GNOME. I wasn't gaming, first of all. Second of all, sure, maybe GNOME is better. I like KDE because it's what I've used and I just wanted to keep using it. Take this as an opportunity to remove the terrible malware that is KDE and replace it with the heavenly GNOME desktop environment. Wow, this one was probably an unpopular opinion considering how many comments this guy got. Nice joke. Calling someone a criminal over a desktop environment choice, a little harsh. Kind of like calling someone a terrorist because they prefer vanilla ice cream. So this just became an argument between GNOME and KDE, basically. Bro is pretending that Windows is without flaws. Never said that. Windows has killed itself more than Linux has for me. Same for me. The Linux experience takes you back to a time when you would reinstall your OS every few months for a fresh start. Grok is the best tech support. Jesus fucking Christ, get your head out of your ass. Looks fine to me, what's the problem? A desktop environment cannot nuke itself. It's your distro which did it. You know what, this brings up a good point. It's really hard to convey to the average user all the different parts that make up a Linux distribution. Because when I look at Bazite, I don't see Bazite that is Fedora with KDE, I see it as Bazite. And so when I complain about something not working in the KDE desktop environment, I blame it as a Bazite problem. Even though I understand it's not, it's a KDE problem. Because when I install Windows and something's wrong with File Explorer, I get mad at Windows. That's why you're just a fucking idiot. Thank you, AJ. Appreciate you.
Fucking idiot.
That's unusual. It makes me wonder if you have a drive dying. You know what? I didn't do any tests to check smart stats. I would hope this drive is not dying, considering I stole it from work 6 months ago. So this is a helpful comment, and I did try this. I don't use whatever it's fucking called, Limonine or whatever. I was using Grub, and I did try to revert to an older snapshot, but I went all the way back to even the furthest snapshot I had available, and it still wasn't working. Oh, all right, getting a little angry there. Okay. Ooh, this is where we're getting into some of the spicy comments here, chat. Okay, Boudin is a single user and read your logs. Great question. I did try to, again, make another user profile. It didn't work. I was able to access like my file manager and stuff, which is how I was able to save a lot of my data before I reinstalled. I've been using Arch for at least 7 years now and has never nuked my system. Is there literally anybody in chat who has never had a single issue ever on Linux? And I'm talking like you don't even have to tinker anything. Linux breaking is just a part of its tism. I'm always surprised when things work. 1 issue per week guaranteed. No, I've had multiple issues with Linux, but I do advanced stuff. Sure, okay. Is it weird then if I run into issues? Dude, hit me up, I got you. Thanks, Nick. Tiny Blue Dev, I appreciate you. Just use NixOS. You'll never have this issue. All right, telling me I'm using the wrong distro. Appreciate it. I recommend switching it to console and running OpenCode with some LLM key, and it will fix it. I love how confident people are that AI will just fix it. Like, it's very possible, to be very clear, but like, it's very interesting to me how many people are so confident that it will just fix it. My theory of what happened is I applied an update, I didn't reboot, and then by the time I went to go like to the bathroom and come back, my computer went to sleep, and that sleep is what broke it. That is my guess of what happened. Nuked itself as if you did nothing, and it nuked itself. In my humble opinion, those exact symptoms that I just told you is still me doing nothing. So I'm still gonna make the argument that I truly don't believe I did anything crazy. It's not like I installed something and it destroyed my desktop environment. You know what I mean? Sucks you had a bad experience. Maybe this is seen as an opportunity to learn a window manager. You can keep KDE, but you're also having your WM have a graphical view. No, I just want my desktop to work like a desktop. I don't want to go any deeper. That's the thing. Today on things that never happened. Oh yeah, this was the guy who said he burned a Quran. All right, really gonna take your advice, moron. You fucking goddamn, Peter's watching right now. You are the problem, most definitely, Boca. Just download Claude Code and Austin, you did one too. This is 13 minutes ago. You did this. That's why I'm going all AMD for my next build. My computer's all AMD. It was surprising how many people thought this was like a driver related thing because they thought I had an NVIDIA GPU. I don't think it was a driver thing. I think it was still on KDE Plasma. Honestly, pick a distro with an immutable failsafe. It's not a bad piece of advice. I did run Bazite for a month before this, but I wanted to get off Bazite because I found some cases where I was trying to install some softwares and it was more hoops to get installed. In the words, you did something real stupid. No, I don't think I did, but I appreciate you, Will Satchwell. Honestly, the first desktop environment failure is a canon event for every Linux user.
Niche engagement bait. Picture of a command line to feel cool nuked itself. Reinstall everything, still not going back to Windows to rage bait Windows users who are using their computers.
Thank you, Frank. This was a well-executed rage bait. Way more effective than I thought it was going to. I love how many people had to bring up Linus nuking their DE. It's like, yeah, congratulations, it helps. 2 Linus people have nuked their desktop environments in Linux. Let's see if there's any other amazing comments here.
I wonder how the fuck you guys manage to have so many problems. It's probably LLM instructions, but I can't prove it.
All right, pulling up LLM instructions. This would be easier to fix and set up on Arch. Who's gonna tell him? What a completely irrelevant comment. I'm playing Call of Duty on my Fedora 44 computer, no problem at all. Okay, good for you, I guess. You know what, Gasglad, I'm proud of you. I'm so happy you're playing Call of Duty on your Fedora 44 computer. Define nuked itself. Valid comment. I did actually make a follow-up post to this. I decided to respond, and this was like 8 hours later or something like that. Seeing the Linux community responses on this is classic neckbeard shit. For those wondering what happened, it played out like this. I woke a computer from sleep. One of my 2 monitors didn't boot. I then noticed it was frozen on my other monitor. I tried getting to terminal, desktop, any sign of life, but couldn't. Held the power button to reboot. It then failed to boot, often spitting out errors related to KDE. I spent a couple hours looking online for this error, following some guides that seemed decent, but ultimately couldn't get it to work. Not everyone is a Linux expert. Windows has its issues also. It's not a black and white issue. Thanks for joining my TED Talk. So that was my follow-up tweet. It's also getting some traction. Bro, just try to find out maybe what went wrong and maybe just try to reinstall KDE. It's fine. We'll move on. All I can say, I've never seen that happen. Good luck, buddy. That's the Hyperland creator. Oh, is it? I didn't even acknowledge. I didn't even know that this was the Hyperland creator. Oh, cool. Okay, sure. The Linux community is full of toxic elitist buttheads more interested in proving themselves smart than helping others out. Oh, fucking what a bar. To be clear, I think that the more people that accept Linux, the more likely it'll be that we can like drown out the toxic part of the community. That's a distro problem, not a KDE problem. I've had CachyOS break on me too, which is why I quit using it. Honestly, too many Linux nerds recommend it. CachyOS is more of an enthusiast distro for tinkerers. If you're not an enthusiast or tinker, you shouldn't be using it. This goes back to the comment I made just like a couple minutes ago about like, when I am looking at it like a distro or an installation of Linux, am I looking at CachyOS or am I looking at KDE when the problem happens, right? My understanding from all the shit that I was reading online was this was a KDE Plasma issue. This was not a CachyOS issue, but I don't know. That only happens to me when I choose not to just shut down my PC when I'm done using it. I have sleep mode effectively disabled on my setup to avoid this. Linux is many things, but multi-monitor setups can still be temperamental. This is where I was like wanting to rage bait people and be like, my Windows computer can do sleep mode fine. Just like fully like hit people with like the brain dead Windows. Like unapologetic, whatever, but maybe this is too simple of a take, but if people know that sleep is an issue on Linux, then sleep should never be enabled. More and more convinced that only Valve has a chance to pull off a desktop Linux with SteamOS. It's tough. I think there's a lot that goes behind it because they can really have like a dedicated, paid, highly paid team potentially funded by the corporation to like create a distro or a desktop OS that is like tried and true and tested, you know? It wouldn't surprise me if in the future the market share ended up being like Windows, Mac OS, Linux, and then SteamOS, you know, in like a weird way. Like SteamOS had its own decent percentile. I looked at the comments, what an absolute clusterfuck. Like Stack Overflow, but with more Adderall. See, again, this is my theory of what happened, but again, I don't know how to fix that. And also, that shouldn't happen if you're like downloading a desktop environment or a fucking OS. Maybe this will cut down to a YouTube video. Maybe I'll title it, I pissed off the Linux community. I pissed off Linux Twitter. I got canceled on Linux Twitter. That'll be the title. I'm still writing mine, just wait. Oh god, Obama sending it from the official White House account.